All right. Fire them up. What's going on, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Genre of Your Life podcast, a podcast that chooses to accept to be your favorite movie podcast. I'm keeping on theme, boys, with the Mission Impossible, of course. Episode number 76 of the podcast.
Yeah.
I am one of your hosts, Doug Jones. With me, as always, are my two amazing co-hosts, two of the most amazing people in the world, and more importantly, two of my best friends. First off, we have the wonderful, amazing, incredible Nick Johnson. How's it going, Nick?
I'm doing good. I'm doing impossibly good.
See, bravo. See, always, there's a theme.
Thank you.
Nick Johnson will find the theme no matter what.
Don't clap for that. That joke was ass.
It could be worse. It could have been worse, actually. But you're on theme. It's all that matters. And of course, it is
true. Go for it.
Mr. LA himself, the soon-to-be 70 Miller IMAX Regal Limited member, Mr. Moses Lawley. What's going on, Moses?
What's going on? One thing I got to say about that joke, though, is that overall, it was going to be impossible to land.
There we go.
Listen, I know you think it might be impossible to land, but I need you to trust me one last time.
Trust me one last time. Or Nick, what does Ving Rhames say in the movies?
He's always like, Ethan.
Damn, I don't get the reference.
It's Ving Rhames.
He's like, we're on the right side of things, brother.
Okay.
When I picked him up for the
Moses, you didn't know who Ving Rhames was, bro?
No, I didn't get the reference that you were doing. I was confused. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, got you. Oh, okay. No, yeah, you're right. My bad. No, every movie, then like at some point, Luther is gonna shout out Ethan's name. He's always like, Ethan, like without fail, bro. I promise you. Mm-hmm. I was just watching.
I haven't seen it.
I'm not gonna spoil, but I will say I was literally just watching. I was just watching Mission Impossible 3 on Saturday, and there was I'm not gonna spoil it, but there was a scene where like it was like all intense and like Ethan was kind of like, you know, he was on some shit, and Luther came in. He's like, Ethan, you can't keep doing this, Ethan. You know, it was something to that effect. Like he always like shouts out his name. I just think it's funny. It's just fun to do the voice.
Or what does he say in Fallout? He goes, and when she goes, how's Ethan doing? He goes, oh, you know, same old Ethan. But yes,
same old Ethan.
If you don't know what we're talking about tonight, we're talking about Ballerina, a John Wick a John Wick friend. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. This is the Mission Impossible non-spoiler episode. I almost did Jason Bourne. I was like, you know what? Let's keep it relevant for these times. But yes, this is going to be our non-spoiler course. Our very own Moses hasn't seen the movie yet, so we're keeping non-spoiler for him, and of course for you all as well. We'll have a full spoiler discussion next week. I think, boys, next week too, we should probably hold off on doing our rankings till next week after Moses sees it as well. So we'll probably next week we'll do a full ranking of the series, of the franchise, and we'll do spoilers next week because there's a lot to get into that movie next week. So look out for that. But of course, in the meantime, you can find us on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. We also have a full audio show on our full video show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. Whether you're on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, you name it. Please help us get to 1,000 YouTube subs this summer. One of our goals, that is. We are so close. It opens a lot of doors for us in terms of kind of just like opportunities for us, stuff like that, more events, more coverage. And of course, our ongoing goal still is the 200 Apple Podcast ratings. Thank you to Moses, who actually added up a rating to us the other day. We're at 39 now. So we are still ways to go, boys, but we're getting there slowly and surely. we're getting there, man. This is gonna be the summer. I feel it, man. This will be our final reckoning this summer with getting to 200 Apple Podcast ratings.
Yeah.
Keep it on
Oh,
theme.
exactly. Yeah, everybody, please help us please help us get to these goals so that way we can keep bringing you guys more of this amazing content that you guys love. Help us help you. To quote another Tom Cruise
This
movie.
is your mission. I hope
Yes, Moses. Yes. Yeah, see, come on now. Come on, Mission Impossible. This is free marketing for you guys.
That was dope.
This is free marketing for you guys. Could you imagine though?
Tom Cruise, if you're listening, just put us on.
Could you imagine though if we're
right here, we got you.
Could you imagine if we did all this and actually the review was actually Lilo and Stitch? Like, could you imagine like if we did all this and by the way, guys, we're doing Lilo and Stitch tonight. They'd be like, wait, what? We're do a complete 180 and nice Shyamalan twist.
We would lose all of our subscribers, man. All of our podcast reviews.
We'll be
lose all credibility for sure.
Hey, what man? It was fun while it lasted. You see us with Tom Cruise around the chopping wind.
I know.
Oh my goodness! But yes, we're gonna keep it short to the point this time, everyone. So, starting off with a movie that we saw actually a few months ago at South by. I forgot actually coming out. I think it's coming out nationwide today. It was limited theaters a few weeks ago. I think it was L.A., New York, and Chicago. I want to say a few weeks ago. But we're talking about A24's Friendship, a movie that, man, Nick, let's be real, man. We were hyped for this movie going into South by. Am I right?
No, I for sure was. Like, I was really excited about this. I had seen, I think the first full season of Tim Robinson's You Should Leave. Like, the humor in that show is insane, and I've never seen humor like that anywhere else. So then when I saw that they were doing a movie, like, I was like, because I don't remember how I learned about it, but I knew for sure, like, okay, Tim Robinson, A24, that sounds pretty fucking weird. Let me check it out. And then it was like French, like Paul Rudd was in the trailer, and it was all of those shenanigans. But the thing that I liked about it was like, I was like, wow, it seems like it's just a full on featured film version of a I think Leave sketch. And going into it, obviously I'm excited, but there was that not hesitation, but there was that curiosity for me, like, are they actually gonna maintain that humor consistently all the way through? And to the credit, without spoiling anything, they really did. They fucking did their thing. And the movie, it never lost me at any points. It only, like, I was just not even like on the edge of my seat, but like I was just like so dialed into this movie. It was so funny, and it was that Tim Robinson humor. So, oh my gosh, I loved. I cannot recommend it enough. It might be one of my favorite comedies. Wow, but no, I loved it. Like Friendship was fantastic, especially without spoiling it. Especially the way it ended. I was just like, holy shit! I was like, there's no way they're gonna like do X, Y, Z, and then they did. So.
Yeah, keeping it non-spoiler. Moses, bro, you gotta see this movie, man. You gotta see this movie. You're gonna laugh so hard. Like, I'm telling you, like, I said to Nick, we were legit laughing. Again, to be fair, we were in a 1,200 person theater at South by in Austin at the Paramount. But man, we were just gut busting laughing the entire time. Our friend Ben, who we met day one, was like, "Gotta see Friendship. It's so fun." He saw it back at TIFF last year because you gotta see this movie. It was out with him and his friend, and man, packed theater. We were just dying laughing, and I feel like you also have very similar kinds of humor in terms of like comedy movies. You're gonna love this movie. It is so it's so funny, and it's so out there. It's so out there, but I think you'll appreciate it. But to Nick's point too, if you don't really like cringe comedy or kind of like really out there humor, might not be for you. But the thing that kind of sold me was before we saw the movie, on the poster it was, "I love you, man, but for sickos." And I love the movie I Love You, Man. And I said, oh, okay, I'm intrigued by that. So, but I think me and Nick, I think this was our top three, right, out of South by?
It was, yeah.
I think so.
I got to remember what the other ones were. But yeah, this one was definitely top three.
For some context, actually, A24 is producing this movie, the hit studio that is A24. But if you don't know from context, Friendship follows a man who tries to befriend his charismatic new neighbor, but it soon threatens to ruin both of their lives. and I keep thinking about this movie too. Almost 3 months later, the best way I can pitch this movie to, and I put this in my tweet after we saw it, and A24 using the marketing was really cool. My tweet was, it's I Love You Man on crack meets The Cable Guy times 1,000. Oh, wow. And when I tweeted that, A24 took it and put it in their marketing that same day, and I said, wait, hold up now, what? And again, I saw the thing of like someone using it like I Love You Man for sickos, and people were like praising this movie about like, oh, it's the funniest thing you'll ever see, and I'm like, well, that's pretty high praise, but they're not wrong. And to Nick's point too, if you're a fan of Tim Robinson's show, I think you should leave, or even the show Detroiters, which is super underrated. Something's on Netflix now. It was him and his best friend Stan Richardson, who are both really funny comedians. You really, the way they pitched this movie too, before at the Q&A, before at the intro, before the screening too, was that it's very submersive. Nick, she said it was very submersive. That's not submersive. It was like, she used a word to describe it.
Subversive?
Yes, subversive.
Is it subversive?
I think so. And you and I were like, huh, interesting word to use to describe this movie. But she wasn't kidding. This movie goes down a really path of like, what's going to happen? And then you just like, it just goes and it just goes. Like, it is not hold back. It's on a full ambulance down and
full throttle,
and the jokes don't stop. I mean, the jokes begin at the very beginning. To the first 2 minutes, you're like, oh, okay, and you know right away like the humor works. The entire crowd is laughing, but it's also very dark at times, but in a very like comedic way, kind of like The Cable Guy. If you're kind of dark comedy in a way, but man, I stay next to you, bro, that movie, and I just feel like we haven't got really a comedy like this in a very long time. Like we don't get comedy like this anymore for the theaters anymore. They all go to like streaming, or they go to like again Netflix, or they're just not well released as much as they used to. And I want to quote you too, Nick. You said that, wow, good on A24 for making a comedy like this too. And I was like, you're right. And I was like, you're right, because who would have thought A24 in a comedy? None of us did. Like, none of us did. Like,
but like this is like the perfect, like, if I was gonna picture like, okay, what would 24 comedy be like? It would be something like Friendship, where like, yeah, it's funny, but like at the same time, it's out there. It's definitely a niche humor. But Beau Was Afraid. That was A24, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, like I don't think. Yeah, like Beau Was Afraid, like just because like I feel like that movie was kind of like a weird comedy. So it's like if A24 was gonna do a comedy, it's like it wouldn't be like your typical comedies. Like it would be something niche, like like Beau Was Afraid, like Friendship. I think The Farewell.
Oh
with
yeah,
Awkwafina. I think that was A24 too, where it's like. You know what I mean? But no, Friendship is that's one of my favorite comedies, because it's kind of like, it's out there humor. It's kind of dry at sometimes, but it never, at least for me, like it never really lost me. There wasn't ever a joke or a situation that just didn't land.
Yeah, right.
So they did a really good. They did a really good job with that.
It's just that opening scene alone is just like, it just makes you laugh. But and what's funny, it's funny too, is that like,
no, the opening scene was insane.
But also too, what's funny as well is that like there's a line that you and I were quoting, like after we saw it on a Tuesday, we kept quoting the thing like the rest of the week. I won't say what it is, but it has to do with the sandwich. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Just kept laughing. And I'm sorry, Nick. What's the song they used that was in our head right the rest of the week too? Like it was in our head like the entire week after we watched the movie.
Oh, matter of fact, because I actually did it to my Spotify. I think it's called My Boo.
Yeah.
It's the I can't sing, so I apologize for my
boo
voice, but
My Boo Ghost Town DJs. Yep.
Yeah, by the Ghost Town DJs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I added that to my playlist.
It was kind of the soundtrack of the week after we saw the movie.
No, it fucking was, bro. Because even on the play right back, I was like, I cannot get the song out of my head. But it wasn't even in my head in an annoying way. It was just like, it's like, that shit's kind of catchy. And it's respectfully, of course.
This
No, I like this.
keep it no spoilers real quick. This is in the trailer. Where he goes, "You should be dead." He goes, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
It's no, dude. It's berserk.
No, because also like Tim Robinson, like, no, it's wild. And Tim Robinson, he's such like an animated, he's such an animated guy. Just like he's just like he's perfect for this type of movie, And he was just his type of comedy is just so unique.
Yeah,
I haven't really seen it like that from anybody else.
It's absurd.
Because he'll just like, if his character needs to be kind of like if his character needs to be like absurd and just out there and all like loud and goofy and shit like that, like Tim Robinson plays it perfectly.
100%. And also
kind of like throws us into the comedy of it.
Exactly. He'll do it for the bit. And it's funny, if you want something really cool, shameless plug, we have the full Q&A of the director, Andrew DeYoung, on our YouTube page right now, so under the South by playlist. So if you want to see a really cool Q&A of the director, check out our YouTube page on that. And to Nick's point too, the director legit was like, well, Tim's kind of the whole Daniel Day of comedy, and the whole crowd started laughing when he said that.
Yeah.
The whole crowd started laughing. Before we end this real quick, I have to give Paul Rudd a shout out too. I think Paul Rudd has also no fear too of like, he could have been like the script like, oh hell no, I'm not doing this. Like, are you insane? But he was like, game. Like, he was game for this, and I was like, you know what? Good for Paul Rudd. We're kind of like saying yes to this.
Yeah, no, because like he was hilarious in it too, and like even well, no, I can't say that. It's
the one thing, yeah, no, I know
like
you're talking about
the way the direction that his character goes to was really fun to watch, and just seeing the dynamic, their interactions between Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. It was just like chef's kiss for comedy movies.
I'm telling you, Moses, I cannot wait to hear what you think about this movie, man. Like, I cannot wait, because it is so funny. I'm gonna pull up my tweet real quick before we end this, because but real quick, Nick, what would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, damn. Ooh, you know what? I gotta give it like a 9.5.
Yep. Yep.
I gotta give it a 9.5, especially like for the ending. For hey, there was a couple of other jokes where I was like, this is perfect. But, 9.5 out of 10 for me.
I'm with you, man. I'm into 9.5 out of 10. I was telling my dad today about this movie, and I was like, dude, if you love I Love You, Man. I love that movie. I'm like, but it's I Love You, Man on crack for sickos meets the cable guy. And I'm trying to like pitch this movie to like people at my work too. I'm like, guys, if you like his comedy, you like kind of weird cringe comedy, it is so funny. But again, it's like, I gotta give A24 props for really kind of backing a comedy like this that really would not get made anymore these days, or could have been to HBO Max or a Netflix thing. And it's like, no, like, this is like, you want to see it with the crowd. I don't know if it's doing very well, unfortunately. I think it kind of is like, it might be one of those kind of cult classics, I'll say honestly. Like, it could be a cult classic, but I really think if you don't see it with a crowd, it is definitely better with a crowd. It definitely enhances your experience. And on this, my tweet was, okay. Friendship is I Love You, Man on crack meets the cable guy. By far the funniest movie I've seen in a long time, and of this decade. Cringe, it is very cringe. Outrageously hilarious and bold in every way. Tim Robinson is the funniest he's ever been, and Paul is terrific. See this with the crowd. That's how I feel about it. Almost 3 months later. Definitely in our top 3 of South by. Guys, if you like comedy, like A24, you like Tim Robinson, you like Paul Rudd, you like a good time in the theaters, go check out Friendship. You will not be disappointed. No, what's the line? What's the line? Too? He goes, "These are my clothes. They fit me perfectly." whatever the line was.
Wait, say it again. These are my clothes. They fit me.
Remember his clothing brand? He's like,
I think
it's in the marketing.
I remember the scene, yeah, because he kept trying to like put it on, or not, like he kept trying to put it put the product onto like his customers or whatever, or the people that he was like talking with. Yeah,
it's so funny. But yeah, check out Friendship. It's playing. I think it's playing now across the country now, starting tonight. So check it out. If you want to see good comedy, this is it. Go support original comedies like this and original films like this too. All right. So
yes.
I don't think. Before you go, one thing I want to
yes, sir.
pitch in is that I don't think this movie's playing in my theater. But I know that it will be playing at the Alamo Draft House. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
So I'll basically be checking it out on Sunday at Alamo Draft House. Maybe I could be wrong, but there's no showing for it this Friday or Saturday.
Oh, did Regal not get it? Wow.
Yeah, but
wow.
So I got to check it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Alamo Draft House. Yeah. Lilo and Stitch kind of took all the theaters, and also Mission Impossible. Well, they kind of took all the screening time for everything. And,
wow.
And yeah.
Wow. Now that I think of it, I think when there was select cities on the 9th.
Wow.
Well, because it's just like I get it. I get it. You know, Disney and Paramount had the upper hand. I get it. I get it. Also, it's it's a very packed summer in a good way. I think this might have been better if it came out maybe like in between like some of the big blockbusters, or maybe early August when things are kind of dying out. But yeah, I'm seeing it by you right now. Like the Grove, Landmark, Regal, Paseo, City Walk has it, Southgate has it, AMC has this. Yeah, but Regal by you, even the Regal by me doesn't have it either. Like even in AZ, it's kind of like Fashion Square, place in Mesa, Tempe. It's like it's very limited too. And I thought it was gonna be more of like a wider A24 release, kind of like Uncut Gems or a Moonlight or even like a Lady Bird. But that's a bummer.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna still check it out at the Alamo Draft House, because they play a lot of indie and a lot of A24, a lot of Neon. And a lot of Blumhouse projects and everything like that. So
good.
So I'll be watching it there, and I really love the Alamo Draft. It's very comforting. It's very nice.
We miss it because it's not here no more. So we had a little taste of it when we were in Austin, but we definitely miss it. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same. But yeah, no, I cannot wait. If you see it this week, Moses, please talk about it on the pod next week, because I think you're gonna love this movie. It is out there, but it's so funny. It's so funny. Oh man. All right, moving on to a very, and I mean completely different movie. Not as funny, but still funny at times. Is Mission Impossible?
Not as funny.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I was trying to decent little segue. Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. As we think it is the conclusion to the iconic Mission Impossible franchise, starring one of the last movie stars, that is Tom Cruise. And first off, I want to shout out a big thanks to our friends at Cult Classic AZ last week, and Victor for inviting us last week to the IMAX press screening here at AZ Mills. It was definitely fun to see them in IMAX, and it was fun to see a lot of people kind of just hype for that movie. Really cool pre video you can see on our YouTube page. Shout out to our boy Isaac, who's also in our video as well. It was, you can definitely tell. I feel like you all know this too. I feel like when you see an event film like this, either at a screening or at an opening night, opening weekend, the energy is there, right? I feel like Nick. We've seen a lot of cool screenings the past couple of years, but I feel like the energy in a Tom Cruise or a big film like this, right, guys? Like you feel the energy is like it's there.
It's palpable, especially because it's like you said, it's an event film. Like this is not only a big film just because it's Mission Impossible, but this is the final one. So it's kind of like, there's this sense like it's all been leading to this. And like me personally, I've been watching these movies since I was a little kid. So it just kind of felt like this crazy culmination, and it's all this anticipation because it's like, how is it gonna end? How could it possibly end? But no, the experience, and especially since it was on IMAX, like I love IMAX, man. So it was such a privilege to see it, and it was just, and of course it was just really fun too. It was just a fun ride at the very least. But
It is.
Gosh,
It
I
is.
definitely got thoughts about the movie.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's get into it. So, if you don't follow the Mission Impossible franchise, again, that's totally fine. I think we all recommend you watching the franchise first and watching this one because you'll probably be a little lost. But they do a decent job, kind of like recapping the franchise in the first 30 minutes. With that said, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning follows Ethan Hunt and the IMF team who race against time to find the entity, a rogue artificial intelligence that can destroy mankind. All right, Nick, my boy, what did you think of The Final Reckoning?
So, oh man, where do I begin? Like I said earlier, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was a really fun film. There are like a few things where I feel like as weird as this is to say, I feel like they could have gone a little bit like deeper into it. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna save the rest of those thoughts for the spoiler review. But overall, I thought it was like a really good. It really was a good ending, but it wasn't like like it was a good ending. Like damn, I'm trying not to like spoil anything. Let me try to gather my words. I apologize. Moses, I'm doing this for you, man. This is the toughest review I've ever had to do. It's like, hold on. Review this movie, but don't say nothing about
bars.
it, though. Man, what? I know this is
bars.
but so like Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt. It's always fun to watch him just kind of go balls to the wall crazy, doing all these like crazy stunts, all these crazy missions, because some of the shit that he had to do, like you get the sense a little bit like I'm not sure if you had like a backup plan or like if you like thought this all right through necessarily. And I mean like the character, but it again like that it goes to show just how dire the situation is, where it's like I really have to do this thing and the stakes are so high. I don't have time to think about like, oh, what if this works, what if it doesn't work. So it's like that the whole entire movie, where it's like, yo, we are on I forget what the expression is, but it's like, it's almost like everything was like an act of desperation just because of how much was at stake. But all the returning characters are really cool to see. There's a lot of, or not a lot of, but there's certainly homages to like other points in the franchise that it's not even just like needless fan service. It serves the story, because again, it does kind of feel like everything was leading to this. The stunts were cool again. It was a good send off for, I'll say, the franchise overall. Yeah, I thought it was great. There is like, I just have, I guess, like one nitpick for like right now. I remember like a while ago, Tom Cruise said, hey man, we're trying to do a stunt. Oh no, that might be a spoiler.
Oh, the space thing?
Damn. See?
Oh,
I love the movie. It was good.
No,
yeah.
No. The space thing for no. If he went into space, we would have known. No, that's for another movie with Doug Liman. They're doing. That's that movie with SpaceX.
Oh, that was for a different movie.
Yeah, that's what Doug Liman reuniting with him.
Oh, okay. I thought
you're good.
Okay.
It's SpaceX movie. You're good.
Okay, so legit for the last couple of years, I thought he was gonna do a stunt in space like for this movie, and like it didn't happen. Basically, no spoilers, but like, I guess I just misunderstood that shit a few years ago. But yeah, I was like, no space stunt. What was the point of even coming here? I'm teasing, but no, it was honestly a great movie, and even the quote unquote the villain of the movie, the entity. The the entity was a pretty solid threat, and especially with the whole, because it's if you've already seen Dead Reckoning, you know that the entity, what the fuck am I looking at here? You know that the entity is it's AI, and like in some cases it can kind of feel like AI as the villain, I don't know about that, but it works for this movie.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like, it's supposed to be like kind of like representative of just like, the ultimate antagonist. You know what I mean? Like the entity is kind of like the idea of what Ethan Hunt has been trying to, combat with each of the missions and everything like that. But still though, I feel like I would have gone a slightly different route with how they handled the entity a little bit. Um and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But this movie, Final Reckoning, I thought it was great. I do have some other thoughts, but I'm gonna say that for the spoiler review. But I still loved it. I think I would give this like an 8.9, I think. 8.7. 8.7 out of 10 for me.
I'm with it. Again, I think we're gonna be close again in scores, my man, this week. I'm with you too. I mean, I grew up on this franchise as well. I remember like watching the first few I was a kid on DVD, whatever. But the first one I saw in theaters was Ghost Protocol, and that blew my mind. I was like, whoa! I was like, hey, yo, this is like bonkers, crazy. But I loved every minute of it. And also, IMAX, you're listening. Please, please, please. A boy can only dream. Please bring back Ghost Protocol and 143 6mm IMAX. Please bring that back. I'm begging. Please. The Burj Khalifa scene in IMAX. Please. I'm begging. But I feel like this, as a fan of this franchise, I'll also get more into it next week when we do our full discussion and how we rank the franchise as well. I feel like it's a pretty consistent franchise for the most part, but there are some that I like a lot. Some where I'm kind of like, it's right. It's kind of like every other one I like, where I feel like the first two I'm kind of like, 3 I liked, 4 I loved, 5 I'm like, 6 I love, 7 I'm like, this one. So it's almost like every other one I enjoy a lot. And I remember when I did my review for the Dead Reckoning called now a few years ago with you guys, my biggest issue was that like it just kind of just felt like a big ad for that stunt, that him jumping off of the jump off of the cliff with the bike, and
yeah,
right. And I just felt like, okay, this would have been cool, but you guys promoted the hell out of this stunt where it was like, here it comes, and it happened. I was like, all right, I mean, cool, like it happened.
Yeah, I was no, because it kind of felt like okay, he's obviously we're gonna see him, ride off of this cliff, but is it gonna be like something else? Because it really kind of seemed like, yo, guys, he's about to ride the motorcycle off the cliff. See this? He's about to ride the motorcycle off the. Okay, better. Oh man, I can't wait to see what crazy shit Tom Cruise does with this, man. And then like you're watching the movie and he rides the motorcycle cliff, and it's like, and then the rest of the movie happens, and it's like, whoa, yeah, we knew that shit was gonna happen, bro. Yeah. Like, no disrespect. Obviously, that's an impressive stunt, but it's like, was that it? Because it kind of is like, we knew he was going to do that. You showed it to us.
Yeah.
You showed it to us months ago. But
what are y'all rationing?
No, I'm with you on that.
What are y'all rationing? And I think and I watched. I remember when I first saw The Reckoning, I saw it. I was like, I think I liked it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I watched it again recently, and I said, I don't like this for some reason. And I found a lot of problems with the characters. I thought they put in way too much with the new additions, or I felt like, okay, these are really cool additions, but like, let them earn their moment a little bit. Kind of like, oh, this person. It's like, okay. And I still have a bit of an issue with Esai Morales, who played Gabriel, who's again a very good actor, very, very suave, very smooth, whatever. But to Nick's point, it's like they could have explored more of like the final villain, and it's I do have an issue. Good.
He did leave. No, he did leave a little. Not he the actor, but just how the movie handled him. I feel like it left like a little bit to be desired. Especially with what was set up between him and Ethan in Dead Reckoning.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's like I wanted them to jump a little bit more into that. I will say though, Tom Cruise, as far as these Mission Impossible movies, he has not lost a step.
No, he is not.
Like he has not slowed down at all. So that is very impressive. That's probably like 85% of the reason why I see these Mission Impossible movies anyway. Is the stunts.
Absolutely.
Stunts did not disappoint. They just Oh my gosh, phenomenal.
And I think they really did a good job. To me, in my opinion, excuse me, I was more intrigued with this story this time around, and more of the stunts. More of the stunts went around too. Cause I felt the last one was kind of just like, it was again the jump was really cool, and the train was really the train sequence was really cool. But with this, like you kind of felt like this scene alone, especially the underwater and also on the plane, you felt like, oh my god, like he definitely like outdid himself from Rogue Nation with the underwater sequence as well as the plane sequence in the five. Like he topped himself in this one, which was crazy, and I think what this is very well is that I think this had also a better pace than Dead Reckoning, in my opinion, where like it kind of just flowed better. Where I was like, okay, I'm with this. Where Dead Reckoning, I was like, this is a lot of buildup for like what? And when it ended, I was kind of like, I didn't feel fulfilled. This one, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like this. Is how I like this. And again, I remember like telling myself, yeah, Dead Reckoning was good. It was good. And I watched it the first time, like again a few months ago after seeing it a couple years ago, and I said, I'm not a fan of this for some reason. I was like, this is making me boring. This is making me tired. Um, and uh, and again, I know it was like a big. Also, too, I think I also had a problem
Like
that
I liked Dead Reckoning, but it did feel kind of. No, I was just saying I like Dead Reckoning. It did feel incomplete, so
yep.
it's like I enjoyed, I guess, what I saw, but it was it was kind of like the way it ended. It's like I don't know about that. Like it was just kind of like I feel like it felt very much like half a movie, which it makes sense because it's part one, and I think initially it was just gonna be one full movie, and then they stretched it out, cut it into two.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, it was just kind of like, I
And
still enjoy it though.
it's I think also this movie had legit the worst luck because they had COVID delays, COVID delays, COVID delays, COVID delays, COVID cases on set, shut down, back up, shut down, and then
Yeah.
the strikes happened, shut down again. So like it took them 6 years to make these two movies, and that's a lot for a one complete story or whatever. But with that said, I do think they ended on a pretty high note. To Nick's point too, the stunts in this are out of this world crazy. I think all the new additions, whether it's Terrell, what's his name? Terrell, he's Mr. Milchick in Severance. I liked him. Like they added Craig Tarzan Davis to the team. More Palm Clentef, who plays Paris. I like her, but she kind of feels like the kind of generic, like, oh, I'm the muscle kind of, like part of the crew. And I was like, oh yeah, it's cool, but they weren't like developed.
Yeah, I'm
much.
that. No, yeah, it's yes, I'm the character of few words trope a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
I liked her in the movie, but I will say with this team overall, obviously aside from Ethan and Benji and Luther, like everybody else, yeah, everybody else just kind of felt like I like it. To your point, like it's like I don't really feel like y'all earned the spot to like be the main characters necessarily, because it just kind of felt like a bunch of new characters. And I know that that's kind of par for the course for these Mission Impossible movies, but like some of them I was just like I don't fully get why you're here. That might also, to be fair, be like because I haven't seen Dead Reckoning in a minute, so
Not missing much.
yeah, maybe I should have just watched Dead Reckoning and then went into Final Reckoning. But
Yeah, I was going to say before. I know this is a review and everything like that, but I kind of get what you mean in terms of like not really like knowing why the characters are there. I was kind of curious to know like what your thoughts were like when it came down to like how was the team dynamic overall with them with Ethan's
I
team and everything.
I like the dynamic with Palm. I'm gonna mispronounce her name, so I apologize. Palm Clementif?
I think so. Yeah. Oui.
T Palm Clementif. Her character's her character's name was Paris. She was just like a cool character overall. Like I do like that kind of like kill her a few words type of. I feel like we had that on a Mission Impossible team before, so that new element, that new character on the team was pretty cool and pretty fun. But there was I forget what the actor's name is, but he was like the cop that was with He was one of the police officers that was like from Dead Reckoning, and then like he was like
Greg Tarzan Davis.
Greg Tarzan Davis. Yes, thank you. I like he was good in kind of just watching the movie. To me, it felt like a random character. He felt like a little bit like a random character. It was like I don't really recognize you. You know what I mean? Like not recognize you from anywhere, but it just kind of like he just kind of popped up and he was just part of the team all of a sudden. So that to me just felt like a little bit not jarring, but just a little bit kind of like okay, cool. But at the same time, he didn't like distract from the movie too much. And he was like a solid member of the team, but it was just kind of like it just kind of seemed like he popped up here a little bit.
I felt the same way.
Haley Atwell's character, and Haley Atwell's character, she was a fun character. She's cool, but I feel like they were trying to do some things like with her character in relation to Ethan, which I wasn't really vibing with like that. Because I kind of wanted their dynamic to go and I'm gonna get into this spoiler review, but I wanted their dynamic to go in a different way than it seemed to be in the movie that we got. Like it was still solid, but it was just kind of like, I would have just tweaked it a bit. Benji definitely got his moments. Luther got his moments. Luther's one of my favorite Mission Impossible characters.
Me too.
But the team dynamic, like overall, like it was solid, but it just kind of felt like I don't really know this team, and it feels like I need to have like familiarity with these guys. But it's kind of like with basically all new characters.
I mean this in a respectful way. He was kind of catching strays along the franchise. Like he was like, now you're with us. Now you're with us. Now you're kind of almost in a Fast and Furious way of like, you're with us. You're with us now. You're with us now. I'm like, hey, man. Like, what about your OG people, man? What about like Luther? What about Benji? What about these people? It's like, nah, you're with us. You're with us. It's like, yo, man, like, what are you, a coach now?
Yeah,
a recruiter? Like, hold on now.
What are we? Some kind of Mission Impossible?
Wait. The Fantastic Four meme. How does that go again?
What are we? Fantastic.
He was like,
what do you say?
He was like, it's fantastic. He was like,
classic.
Say that again. Dang.
And it's not as corny as that, but I think to your point too, Nick, it's like I think like even with the new additions, it's like you're right. I think it kind of just popped up where it was like if they could have focused maybe on the core 3 or 4, where you have Benji, Luther, and Ethan, and I said this too in our reaction. I said definitely watch the franchise before this. But this one heavily relies on 1, 3, and 7. Like it relies heavily on those three of the franchise. But again, in the first half hour, they do a good job of recapping the franchise, kind of like how we got to this point. My few nitpicks I had with the movie was that it definitely, the first hour is a ton of exposition. I mean, it's a lot of exposition. I didn't mind it as much, but like 45 minutes until Nick, I was like, there's a ton of exposition in this. Like, there's a lot of like exposition and like.
Yeah, it was a little bit of like we kind of got to catch you guys up because it's been a lot. It's been like a year or so since the previous movie. Like it's been some time and we got a lot of ground to cover. But it's like I'm sure that they did their best with the exposition. But it did feel kind of like, okay, it feels like y'all are just kind of explaining a whole lot of stuff to us right now.
Yeah, and I think like McHugh's direction, Chris McQuarrie's direction in this, I think again, I'm glad they kind of stuck with from 5 to 7, 5 to 8. I know he came on as a rewrite, as a script revisionist on the 4th one because he came the line in Gross Protocol. He was like, "Blue is glue, red is dead." That was McQuarrie's line because he asked Tom Cruise asked him to come in to do a rewrite of the script. But again, direction is strong, stunts are great. Again, real world locations. Again, you tell Tom Cruise really cares about the audience, to his fans of the franchise. Again, also my little nitpick too is that I had a problem with this in Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning was like we shot for IMAX, blah 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 blah, I remember I was hella pissed. If you want, go back to my review of Dead Reckoning on the podcast a couple years ago. I walked out. I'm like, ain't no way there was no damn IMAX scenes in that. Yes, there are IMAX scenes in this. It is the 190, not the 143, the real IMAX. You know how Coogler shot Sinners in, or Nolan shoots his movies in. It's still IMAX, but for a 3-hour movie, it could use a lot more IMAX scenes. And I looked out. I was like, told Nick, I was like,
just shoot the whole movie in IMAX. That's what I should have.
They should have. Yeah. They should have, because you would think the last one. I mean, all the stunts are in IMAX, which is really cool. However, there's a lot of things where I was like, that would be cool IMAX shot. IMAX, quote unquote, it's the 190 IMAX. So if you want to see it again, it's still worth seeing in IMAX. But I wouldn't be like, I can't wait for this scene in IMAX, because not all of them are in IMAX. Sorry, the 190, called it Limax as they call it now. But it is worth the price of premium formats. But again, you're not for the 3-hour movie though. It could use a bit more IMAX, but overall, definitely a satisfying conclusion to the franchise. A lot of cool things that they kind of like, you know, brought back in terms of kind of just like not Easter eggs, but kind of like a lot of cool callbacks and kind of a lot of things that kind of just feel fulfilled finally in the franchise, which is really cool. I'm gonna give, and despite my kind of beef with McQuarrie, I'm giving this 8 out of 10, because I think it's still a very good franchise. I'll get into my beef with McQuarrie next week. Not my beef, but like kind of my little like small gripe with him. If you heard me on the podcast a couple years ago, I brought it up. But again, very, very fun conclusion to the franchise. I hope this means we'll see Tom Cruise going back to like a Collateral or a Jerry Maguire, or, you know, like going back to kind of the dramas. Hey, man, you did your service, man. You got us in seats. You risked your life for us for these movies. We salute you, my friend. But maybe go back to the kind of cool, like, you know, mid-dramas and kind of like, you know, like the drama thrillers, whatever, because I think you definitely have good talent for that. But still, if you're a fan of the franchise, you're having a good time with it. I'm seeing people not like this on Twitter or the reactions. I was like, I think people wanted this kind of movie. People describe this movie in a way I'm like, I agree with it. They're calling it the Dark Knight Rises of the franchise, and I said, that's it. That's it. I definitely feel that way. Or I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I
could kind of see where they're coming from with it.
I see it. I'm like, oh, and I'm like that again. I'm a big defender of Dark Knight Rises, and I was like, I see the comparisons. I for sure see the comparisons with this. But yeah, definitely check out Mission Impossible: The Reckoning. The Final Reckoning now in theaters. Alrighty, all right, Moses. Hope we didn't spoil it for you. We're on our toes.
I know you guys are great. You guys are great. You know, I'm so excited to see this movie.
You're gonna like
it.
I
am a little bit disappointed that you guys mentioned that. I'm a little bit disappointed you guys mentioned that. You know, there's not enough. 190 aspect ratio. You know, IMAX. Scenes in this and everything. Even though it's a 3-hour movie, I'm a little bit upset about that, but I'm still excited. You know, I think overall, like moving forward at a certain point, or maybe even like if a few years from now, like IMAX overall should literally like have a certain amount of scenes where it needs to be in IMAX.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It can't just be promoted like, oh, okay, it's an IMAX movie, go see an IMAX. It's like, no, is there scenes that are about 30 minutes that are in IMAX so that we can actually make sure we satisfy our customers.
I agree.
Everything. Just like Nolan with his, Oppenheimer with his Oppenheimer film, and with his new Odyssey film, which is going to be literally in 1:43
the whole time
to the entirety of the movie in IMAX. So that's really, really satisfying. With Sinners 2 as well, did a great job making sure that they included those moments, and yeah, it's just making sure that you're able to do that. And what's great, I heard that How to Train Your Dragon live action is coming out next week. I think it's completely being shown in 190.
Yes, sir.
IMAX, which is really, really nice.
Yes, sir.
On IMAX screens.
F1
so
too.
I could be wrong, but maybe that's different news.
Nope. F1.
Yeah, I think it was F1.
F1.
I think it was F1. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think it was F1 that I heard. Yeah, F1, and I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that movie. I think I think, yeah, it's definitely gonna be my top 5. Anyway, sorry.
No, please, no, don't apologize. Real quick before we move on to our summer movie preview finale, real quick. So the next 143 IMAX is going to be Odyssey by Chris Nolan. Real quick, Top Gun was 190. You're right. Thunderbolts had a few scenes in 190. But again, you would think, to Nick's point too, is that should the whole thing in 190 because Avengers did it, Endgame did it, No Way Home did it. It's like, you guys can do this. Why don't you do it? So yeah, partially is How to Train Your Dragon. F1 is entirely IMAX. IMAX entirely for Superman, Nick. There you go. Entirely 190.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Entirely.
Oh, okay.
As it should be. Oh yeah.
And entirely for F4. Sorry, for Fantastic Four. Mortal Kombat 2, partially IMAX digital cameras. Wicked was not this, whatever, and Avatar will have Avatar has that kind of custom. He has that for his IMAX, for the camera's IMAX. But yes, I was absolutely right. F1 will be the next fully 190, not full IMAX, but still the expended aspect ratio for that movie. Then we got Fantastic Four. But do you guys see that Jurassic Park World got cut from IMAX summer?
I don't think it got cut.
Not in the
I
States.
don't think it ever, it never got a. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it ever signed or made a deal with IMAX at all. But
they were supposed to.
Maybe I'm
They were supposed to. F1 got the 2 weeks. F1 got it first.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy because it's like IMAX would know that these movies, the Jurassic World movies and everything like that, make a ton of profit. Not just in the U.S. but also worldwide. They made $1 billion last year, even though the movie wasn't really that good. I think, or not last year, 2 years ago. I'm not super sure.
Let's be real, it was ass.
It wasn't that great. It still made. It was one out of like 3 films or 2 films to make $1 billion.
Yeah. And also too, there was a rumor that they're going to show the prologue of the Odyssey before Jurassic. That was the rumor.
Really?
That was the rumor. Is that
before what?
Before Jurassic, they're both Universal. The rumor was that they're going to show the prologue. You know how they showed the first 6 minutes of Tenet and Dunkirk and Dark Knight Rises for whatever.
Yeah.
No one, except for Interstellar, Dunkirk, and Inception. Nolan, before a big movie, before I Am Legend came out, the first opening scene of Dark Knight was shown in IMAX before I Am Legend. Before Ghost Protocol, the opening scene Dark Knight Rises was shown before that movie. Before Rogue One, the prologue opening scene of Dunkirk was shown. For Star Wars 9, saw it with my dad in IMAX. They showed the 6 minutes of Tenet. That's why I was like, whoa! And I was like, oh my god. So the rumor was that because they're both Universal movies, the rumor was that there was going to be an extended preview or prologue to the Odyssey before Jurassic in IMAX. I guess not anymore.
No extended look for the Odyssey.
Not because I think the point was if Jurassic had IMAX screens, they were going to show the prologue in IMAX, but they can't now. So I'm like, damn it. So
yeah. They definitely still got time. I mean, they got. Wait, I mean, I think How to Train Your Dragon is coming out.
How to Train Your Dragon has it, and then they have it for 2 weeks, and then F1 has it for 2 weeks, and then Superman has it for 2 weeks, and then F4 has it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't How to Train Your Dragon Universal?
Yeah, that's what I. So I thought that. No, they are. Yeah, they are. But for some reason, that it made more sense because remember, so when Nope came out in July, it was 1 year before Oppenheimer, and they showed for the first time the Oppenheimer trailer in IMAX before Nope. So I remember seeing that as a Nope. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They showed a really cool sneak peek of Oppenheimer. I think it was like it would be a year out from July. It would make more sense. Also, Jurassic World kind of makes more sense. Again, to your point, you're right. They're both Universal Pictures. You would think How to Train Your Dragon and Jurassic World, but I think it felt more better. It made more sense to put it before Jurassic, but again, apparently not anymore. So we'll probably get one maybe before the next. Honestly, well, because we got a trailer for Tenet in December of 2019, and it was supposed to come out July 2020 before COVID hit. I bet you, this is a rumor, they're going to show a big fat prologue before Avatar. I bet you.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
I bet you.
Of course. I feel like, you know, it's funny. I think they're going to show one a little earlier. I feel like they're probably going to show one a little earlier. I feel like that's kind of too late. I mean, not late, but that's a little bit, you know, cutting it close. That's the time where you would try to release the trailer, you know. But I feel like they're probably going to show one like later on during, you know, maybe like September or whatever, you know.
Could be. Because
I know, you know, with Nolan, he wants to make sure that, you know, people are hyped that really, really early on. I could be wrong, but, you know, yeah. He might do the same thing where he had that one, the timer thing for
Oppenheimer.
When you have the timer thing with Oppenheimer. He might do the same thing for that, maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
You know?
Honestly, you could be right.
Wrong, though.
No, you never know. I think it depends on what movie they're gonna pair it with. Like, I think it's like it has to be like an event film to pair it with. And again, it could be the Paul Thomas Anderson movie, the one with Leo and Sean Penn and Del Toro, Gina Hall, and Tiana Taylor. It could be Tron. You know, it could be Wicked. It's probably Wicked, duh, because it's Universal. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Wicked.
Yeah.
Probably Wicked. That makes sense, right?
yeah. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's the. Do you guys think it's gonna be a rated? Do you guys think it's gonna be a rated R movie, or do you guys think it's gonna be a PG-13? You know,
he's proved, dude. Oppenheimer, a 3-hour drama, made almost $1 billion. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Hey,
I mean, true.
It's weird because I feel like it doesn't need to be like.
It doesn't need to be rated R. It doesn't need to be R-rated.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be like rated R, but like if it got like a PG-13 rating, I'd be like, that's kind of weak. Like I feel like once I see it, like, nah, maybe just make it rated R because it is like, you know, just the type of it is like.
Yeah.
I feel like it being rated R, like it's because even like with Oppenheimer, like. Yeah, it wasn't really like a whole bunch of like crazy, you know, like violence or sex or language like that going on in the movie, but it's still kind of like, yeah, if it was PG-13, I feel like they would have been like, you know, holding back a little bit just to get that PG-13 rating, you know, when it's rated R.
I mean, you got to look at you know, Dune though. Dune Part 2 was PG-13, and it gave us like really some like raw images.
Yeah,
you know,
true. It's just like, but like at the same. Dune doesn't, because to your point, it doesn't need to be rated R, but I don't know. It's weird. I gotta meditate on that one, bro.
He's pushed.
You're asking the hard questions today, Moses.
He's pushed the limits. I feel like Dark Knight is a very hard PG-13 movie. Like it could be R if you. I mean, the whole thing of the pencil with the Joker, the pencil, like you could definitely make an argument. It's kind of like a light rated R movie, but
even like Two-Face. Like that could have been like some rated R type shit.
He really pushed it, and I think he's proved himself that he can do a rated R movie and a PG-13 movie, and guess what? It's still gonna work. So he can do whatever he wants, but I bet you because of Tom Holland, more of kind of like the more like Zendaya, like I mean Zendaya could open rated R movies too, but I feel like it might be PG-13 because of the more of like the I don't know. It go either way. It wouldn't surprise me.
PG-13, you can bring in bigger crowds.
I mean, of course.
That too. But again, Oppenheimer made almost $1 billion for a 3-hour drama. That's crazy.
I say fuck it. Just go with the Odyssey.
Yeah, they killed the crap. They killed what's the big monster in the Odyssey?
The Cyclops.
It can be really gory. Make it really like violent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what's funny? I feel like the Odyssey is gonna be very much, you know, like a. Have you guys seen Tree of Life?
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, with Brad Pitt and Sean Penn.
Terrence Malick.
It's gonna be deeply visual. I feel like.
Interesting.
That kind of like
I gotta see that. movie.
You know, that's just my little rumor that I'm speculating because they're shooting a lot of practical. You know, a lot of practical, and it's mostly practical. So it's like, and they're shooting a lot of, you know, like I don't know, they're just doing a lot that feels very much in that like realm. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
You see this meme where it was like Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Odyssey, because seeing real monsters because no one wanted to use CGI. For our listeners, it's the Willem Dafoe looking up meme. I think we lost Nick. Wait, Nick, you still there?
Oh shoot, my bad. Here we go.
There
we go. Yeah. So I don't know what happened.
He saw the monster. He had to go. Oh my god. But yeah, that's gonna be fun to review with you guys in a year, as we call a radio tease. With that said, speaking of summer movies, we last left off our summer movie preview season with speaking of Jurassic, July 11th, boys. Nick, Superman, we're this close. Do you think this is probably your top movie of the year?
Yeah, it's number one. It's number one.
Oh, I should mention too. If you all, to our listeners, whoever's the Amazon Prime, you too, Moses. The week before, I think it's June 30th. Mark your calendars. Amazon Prime is doing an exclusive screening for Amazon Prime members on July 7th, but you had to get tickets the week before.
Mm.
So I have my calendar set to get tickets for me and Nick. I'm like, I am missing this. If I do this, I have failed Nick as a friend. I was like, but yeah, I think it's June 30th. Tickets go on sale. But yeah, so I have that. But yeah, that's July 11th. Moses, I know you're hyped for this movie too. You can play your top 5 this year, Superman.
Yeah. It's definitely, you know, at first, when I first saw the first trailer and when we got that first look photo, I was very disappointed, you know, a little bit, because I thought we were kind of like going backwards and heading towards, you know, towards a more like, this is going to sound very, very, very mean, but, you know, that's just my thoughts, of course, but more of the CW tone, kind of, based on the first look that we got. You know, but then I seen the second trailer. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is great," but it's not really up to a hype that I want. And then the second trailer was released, you know, a few days ago. I was like, "Now this right here is what I'm excited about. You know, this is what I'm excited for overall." You know?
This trailer number 2 was a banger, bro, and I know bangers.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be my top 5. You know, it's gonna be up there with Sinners for sure. But Sinners right now is number 1, and I'm pretty sure number 2 will probably be, you know, F1 or maybe Fantastic Four. We'll see, but I'm excited for all.
F1, F4, man.
Nah, Superman all these Fs.
You know, I'm with you guys. I'll tell you what, though. The reason why I'm excited to see this movie, because I'm going to see it with Nick, and seeing his reactions make me like the movie even more. Because I know you being the Superman expert that you are, I'm going to be watching you more than the movie. I'm going to be like, I'm going to be like, what do you think?
I'm going to be like standing up doing cartwheels and backflips in the theater, bro.
Yeah,
man. What did y'all think about this most recent trailer?
I gotta say about the trailer. I'm not gonna lie, man. Made me a little like, you know, like inspired, but also emotional about like his character. I mean, the Superman. It made me feel like, man, this guy is a person that's just trying to do. That's gonna be me. But
that's about to be us watching this movie. Like,
it's just like, you know, David playing, you know, taking on this mantle and everything like that, and the way that they're portraying Superman in this film, it's like, you know, he just wants to do good, and he's very like charming too, as well as Superman. He's very charismatic. You know, he's very positive. I love the Man of Steel tone, of course. I mean, I love that movie. It's like my top, 5 superhero movies of all time.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely really, I really enjoyed this tone when I saw the trailer. It made me feel, hopeful.
I like that.
Yeah.
It made me feel super.
A theme.
Man.
We love a theme.
No, I'm with you on that, Moses, because like with this with this trailer, I watched it like back to back, like when it first dropped. Literally,
He's still watching.
I was at work. I was at my computer. One of my coworkers walks up to me. He's like, no, one of my coworker walks up to me. He's like, and he like whispered something to me, and I was like, what? And they just dropped the Superman trailer. I threw my headphones down and just upstairs to the break room so I could like
Tom Cruise run.
But no, like the thing about literally, I jumped down them stairs, bro. But no, the thing I like the most about this trailer was one, it's a cool take on the whole on like the Christopher Reeve movie, like that first interview between Lois and Superman. Exactly, yeah. No, the scene in Mission Impossible 3 where he had like run and jump off that building.
Oh, this one
in Shanghai or in China.
No, he was booking it, bro. In that movie. All you saw was dust.
I was like, man, you're not about to. My boss was like, hey, Nick, what's up? I was like, get out the way. But no, like what I like most about this trailer was, it showed Moses, to your point, Superman, like he really is, and it's kind of like they said it in BVS, like maybe he's trying to do the right thing, like he's literally just if danger, I just want to be there to help. He's not thinking about anything else. It's just I want to, and it's just he's just being altruistic. Yeah. Lois in that scene was kind of representing the more like Superman represented the more idealistic, dare I say, naive yet more hopeful viewpoint. Lois was kind of representing more like pessimistic, more cynical, real world views. Like, yeah, you're trying to help, but you went into like another country and got involved in their politics, bro. And like you are known as, even though like it's not your intention, you are known as like a US based figure. So like it makes you look kind of funky. It makes like the rest of the country look kind of funky because it's kind of like you're literally like a superpower going over and like stopping shit in other countries. So like, but he's like people were going to. It's like like that's for Superman. Like that's really all it's about. And I like that. And I like that Lois was kind of like she wasn't taking it easy on him. She was like, no, I'm about to get up in there, and like I as a reporter I got to ask these difficult questions. And even Superman again with the whole like naivete, he's kind of like he's getting all exasperated on the couch, like, no, I didn't talk to like the president or the secretary of defense, blah blah blah. But excuse me, no, I like that. It was cool seeing the dynamic between Lois and Superman, and like, I could gush about that scene all day long, but I'm really excited for it. And apparently that's going to be like a solid 12-minute scene. Ooh. Like someone was saying, like that's that scene between those two. It's 10% of the film's runtime right there. So I'm kind of like, then it lets you know like this is a significant scene. Like I think scene is kind of like the thesis of the movie or the character himself. I'm really, really excited to see Lex. I want to see Nicholas Hoult as Lex. The shot of him in that very first trailer where it was just Superman flying by, like
so good.
Love that shot.
So good.
He's back. I was like, yeah, I'm with that. I got to see this movie, man.
So good.
Yeah, and it was definitely a good trailer. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it, sure.
I'm hyped for it. July 11th, guys.
We're time to get another tattoo.
During the movie, just get another one there.
Taking that week off of work.
Well, hey, I think so. I think the screening that
you just feel like,
man, dude, at their Final Destination, I don't want to see no tattoos, bro. I got freaked out from that scene. From that scene, that movie, I was like, oh boy. Because that's July 11th. Oh, guys, come on, man. The big movie July 11th is Tyler Perry's Destination Wedding.
Guys. I just saw the trailer for that yesterday, and I was like, it's a good thing that movie is on Netflix because I'm like, if that was a theatrical release, like I know you're not trying to compete with Superman. All due respect to Tyler Perry and Madea, because I look up to Tyler Perry. I think he's he's a solid dude. But I was like, same day as Superman, huh? Got some balls.
That'd be the next Barbenheimer. It'll be Madea and Superman. That'll be the next Barbenheimer event.
I know. Can you imagine like Madea outperformed Superman?
Embarrassing. I think literally Warner Brothers would shut down DC.
No, because it would be like, how the fuck did we lose to a Netflix movie?
If that happened, James Gunn, we're gonna Taco Bell the next day. Like, ain't no way. Like, James Gunn,
like James Gunn,
you're fired.
That would be like the biggest cinematic L ever.
All right.
You lost some because it's like, yo, we were all riding on this movie.
There's the Drake L meme.
Cinematic L. Oh man.
James, how you doing, bro?
The biggest cinematic.
I know we had 10 minutes left. I know you both have to get out of here. So let's end on this one. I've never seen this movie or this franchise. I know what you did last summer. Are you guys looking forward to this movie at all?
Like, kind of the trailer looked interesting, and I haven't seen. I know what you did either. But I mean, shoot, I'll watch it. Hell yeah. Jennifer, if you're afraid of it, yeah.
Moses?
I'll check it out. Yeah. Especially since they're like kind of bringing back the older characters.
I mean, and I never watched it. You know, I'm gonna see it. You know, when it comes out, if it's in my theater. You know, but I do know like Madeline Klein. She's in a Netflix show that I watched. It's called
Outer Banks.
I forgot what it's called. The Outer Banks.
Yep. Knives Out too. So she was in.
She's in it, so I'm definitely gonna check it out because she's in it. So, and also, you know, Jennifer Love. You know, I never really watched her stuff, but you know, there's like nostalgia feelings to it. You know, to this film. So I'm gonna go see it. You know, yeah.
I'm with it.
I'm with you guys. Yeah. I think I might watch the first one before we see the new one. But I forgot. It was funny. Someone asked me who was my first childhood crush, and I was like, that's a good question. My celebrity crush, Jennifer Love Hewitt was, because she was in a movie called House Arrest, where these kids locked their parents in the basement. And as a kid, I remember watching on HBO. As a kid, I was like, oh my god, this movie's crazy. I remember like she was the main like girl, and I was like, I had a huge crush on her when I was a kid, massive. I'm like, oh, she's her from that movie. I don't know why. This came to me recently the day where I was like, oh, that's right. She was in that movie that I was obsessed with. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with all the cartoon stuff, whatever, but also like Spider-Man, but also a movie called House Arrest and Osmosis Jones. I was obsessed with those movies. I don't know what, but I was obsessed with those movies.
Osmosis Jones is the shit.
Yeah. So that's July 18th. Looking forward to that one. We got 4 minutes. We got 4 minutes before we end the show. Smurfs. Yeah. Oh, okay. Not for us. Okay.
Yes. First, like,
with Rihanna.
Yeah, okay, I'll see it. I'm there day one, front row.
Let's. I had the press screen, bro. The press screening, bro. We're gonna see Nick, bro, like this, bro. I'm telling you, bro. We're gonna see Nick at the press screening like this with the John Hamm name at Smurf.
Now this is cinema.
And then, bro, this is cinema.
I'm gonna sit like every movie that I see in the theaters from now on. I'm sitting like this.
Oh man!
No, we're seeing him after the movie breaking down the formats like this, like Ryan Coogler did.
I'm gonna be like, I'll be like, so the reason the Smurfs movie works, is because you got Rihanna over here, the main actor, and
we got that 3D.
He's like, So we got the Smurfs movie in 70 millimeter, because it's Smurfs. It's 70 millimeter IMAX. I mean, how else would you want to watch the Smurfs movie? It's got Rihanna in it. You know, it's banging. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Superman.
Could you imagine, bro? Could you imagine? Dude, that'd be kind of funny, bro. If Smurfs like for marketing, they're gonna do a breakdown of that. That would be hilarious. Let's end on this one. Not Smurfs. Eddington. Did you guys see the reactions out of Cannes for this? Ooh.
No, I didn't.
No. Wow.
Oh, so it's Ari Aster.
I still gotta watch the trailer for this.
So I heard it is divisive as hell. Like people walked out like pissed.
Really, I kind of like that.
People walked out like, what the fuck? And I was like, ooh, because when our friend Ben, who we met at South by, he was saying that his friend saw like an early cut of it or whatever. He was like, it's bonkers, where it's a political thriller set during COVID, but in Ari Aster's language. You know, Beau was Afraid, you know, Midsummer and Hereditary, and
that's why I want to see it because of Ari Aster.
And I remember people were like walking out like, "Hey, what the fuck did we just watch?" And I'm like, "That sounds like Ari Aster for you. I mean, it sounds like his movies." And I mean, but yeah, they were saying like,
was it divisive? Was it too like, you know, gory, or was it too like just politically like, you know, not in their view of things? From what I heard, it was just like, so when it first debuted, it was like 50% round. It's gone up a little bit, but the reactions I saw, people were like, "It's gonna piss off a lot of people. It's very bold. It's very eerie because again, it's set during COVID, so we all know the era very well because it was a couple years ago." But they were saying that like it's very ambitious. Like they said, it was very, very, very ambitious. And I was following all the con reactions or whatever, and they were saying like, "Hey, yo, like," and I was like, I mean, that intrigued me more. As someone who not like Beau was Afraid, if you want to hear my reaction, my review of Beau was Afraid, our podcast have that a few years ago. It's a whole different episode. But they were saying like it's definitely more in tune with Beau was Afraid than Hereditary and Midsummer. And I was like, interesting. But from what I heard though is that like it is ambiguous, ambitious. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
No, like literally that was just when you said it leans more to Beau was Afraid. I'm like, okay, we gonna see, because that to say it was out be an understatement. So I'm really excited to see what he does with it, because Beau was Afraid was wild, bro.
If you guys, to our listeners, if you never heard my review of that, we did a whole A24 episode a couple years back. I think in 2023 we did it. If you want to hear my experience watching that, I won't repeat it right now, but when we see this movie, I'll repeat it then. My experience on that movie was because of, and we all know why. But I feel like if that is like this, we're in for a very, very interesting summer movie with this. And this comes out a week before Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey Nick, maybe don't do a double feature of Talk to Me in this.
Probably not, bro. I don't think my psyche could handle it. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That was an insane double feature. Plus, it was like nighttime, and I had the house all to myself. Man, I slept with the lights on that day.
As you should. I forgot, Moses. Are you an Ari Aster fan?
Not. I mean, I'm gonna watch this movie. I didn't watch Beau's Afraid. That's not for me. I just thought it was. Yeah, I didn't see that. I literally stopped halfway, literally 20 minutes in watching Hereditary. I did not finish that movie. I'm not like I like horror, but it has to be a certain type of horror.
You don't like being like that icky horror,
like Sinners and everything like that.
Right. I get you.
Yeah, I don't like
because that like A24 Hereditary type horror, like that's it was like I didn't know that you could do horror movies like this. You know, it wasn't just jump scares. It was I feel uncomfortable the fucking movie. Because you're doing like weird visual shit too, but it's really subtle, you know. So I'm with you on that. Where it's just like,
I just don't like films that that makes you, that's icky. That also makes you feel like you should be uncomfortable. I like the ones that make you feel like you should be scared.
I agree,
but maybe that's just me, But yeah, I like jump scare horror.
I get you. Hey Nick, how much you want to bet right now that when we see this over the summer, you and I'm gonna have another together reaction after seeing together. We saw together at South by.
I bet you $5 right now.
Deal.
I bet you $5.
Deal.
That's all I got.
Yeah, dude. This is the one I'm looking forward to seeing with you guys this summer, because this is gonna be when I feel like we're gonna enjoy reviewing this before we review Fantastic Four the week after. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is gonna be like the craziest fucking this is gonna be like the craziest Pedro Pascal double feature ever. I would imagine.
And you know what's kind of crazy too is that I say this in a very respectful way, where I mean, like, for some reason, like I'm with you, Moses. I'm not a big fan of those like in the A24, like those kind of horror. I'm more of the slasher, more of kind of like the jump scare kind of stuff, like a Sinners and like Halloween, whatever. But there's something I do respect about what Ari Aster does of this kind of like fever dream type of horror. Like I don't know why I'm like it appeals to me. Again, I respect Hereditary and I respect Midsommar. Beau was Afraid, I had my thoughts because of my experience watching that movie, as we all know. But with this, I've been intrigued by this since day one, because we talked about it on the podcast a few years ago of like, oh wow, he's doing a Western set during pandemic with Pedro Pascal, Joaquin Phoenix, and Emma Stone. I said, and Austin Butler. And that's where I was like, interesting. But it's gonna be fun to review that one and see that with you guys this summer. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm intrigued by like what's gonna happen.
I'm looking forward to that one, man.
I call it now. I feel like Nick's gonna love it, and it was positive review. I'm gonna be like somewhat like whatever. I think Moses and I are gonna be on the same kind of page of like but I feel like Nick has a good eye for the A24 horror.
I love. No, yeah, cause I love like I love jump scares. I love slasher movies, but like the way that A24 like does their horror specifically, where like again, where it feels disturbing, unsettling, just all the way through. Like you always just kind of feel I just feel like mentally uncomfortable watching this movie. Like I like how they do that. I think mostly just because it's new for me, or like it was at the time, but I just like that. I always gotta put on like some Friends and some Seinfeld afterwards though, because they do be putting you in like a dark mindset.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm looking forward to reviewing this with you guys this summer. But yes, we'll end on that. That is July 18th, Eddington. I know you both have a hard out. Moses, where can our lovely audience find you at home on the socials?
They can find me, of course, like always, here.
Attaboy.
The Genre of Your Life podcast, of course. Like, you can't find me nowhere else. No, I'm joking. No.
Find me in these streets.
He's exclusively right here.
Exclusively. Right
this is it.
You can find me on Instagram too as well, and I'm updating a little thing of my website again. I always do updates for some reason.
As you should.
I'm like that, but yeah,
I like
find me.
That, yeah.
You can find me there whenever. It's always updated too as well. But take it away, Nick.
Man, you can find me right here at the Genre of Your Life podcast at Midway Avenue Production. And if you want to follow my Insta, it's Ahmad Johnson 98. of course, the only one other place that you can find me other than this here podcast right here in your heart. I'm always be there for you. Just call on my name and I'll be there. Eventually. When I can make it. When it's convenient for me, then I'll be there.
Oh man.
Yeah. On my own schedule, on my own terms. Just forewarning, you know, like I know Genie. Yeah. I know Genie. Come on now, like.
Just whenever I get around to it, I am only one man.
Yeah, hey. he's a. I can't. It's hard to follow that. Actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. But
what you got? What you got?
You can find me here every week with my very own IMF team. These fine gentlemen right here. You can find me, of course, here at John River Life Podcast. You can find me, of course, on my Instagram page, personal page, at The Young Jones. You can find me on my Twitter or X, Capri_Sun, SON. You can find the show socials at Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all one word, Midway Avenue Productions. We have a great summer sort for you guys in terms of reviews and reactions. Look out for that. Again, help us get to 200 ratings on Apple Podcasts, 1,000 subs on YouTube. We are so close. And please go support. Go watch Nick and Kalen's awesome reaction to How to Train Your Dragon. They did an amazing job with it. Go check it out. And again, we have a lot more story for you guys this summer. Stay tuned for that. And of course, my friends, our friends, it is a summer movie season. Go to the local movie theater. Get a big tub of popcorn. Sound like Tom Cruise has a kind of better speech than I do. But get a popcorn, get whatever icy, whatever. But again, go to the theaters, get a big tub of popcorn, get some nice AC. It is hot out there, and of course, go to the movies. It is the summertime for the movies. Go enjoy yourselves. Yes. So of course, till then, everybody, we'll see you guys at the movies.